Magic is the game that keeps me up at night. It lives rent-free in my head, and I love it, just as I loved it as a kid. The cards that I've seen, that I've played, that I've seen played, that I traded. When I see my cards, I see memories. Whether I got to open them, traded for them, bought recently for a modern deck, or whatever the case, I know where it's from. That connection that I have with my cards extends to a connection to my friends, their relationship with their cards. What ideas they come up with, the galaxy of thoughts and discussions is what makes the hobby for me. That's really something that gets me going, and I love it. But sometimes I just feel overwhelmed. There's too much. I see new products, new sets, absolutely all the time. It's always part of season. I mean, it's normal for Magic to have new standard set. I don't say it should be any other way, but there's just too much for me. Magic is strongly rooted in nostalgia. It's not always new things, new format, new circulars, nor always new products for me. In one of my podcasts, I talked about the world of Warhammer. In what was called the End of Times, Games Workshop, in order to bring a new game called Age of Sigmar, simply put an end to their medieval game Warhammer Fantasy Battle. And what I find fascinating is by stopping one of their franchise, Games Workshop effectively gave the game back to the player. You wouldn't have any more to follow the frenetic rhythm of new products, new trends, new rules, new armies. You could just take what you like in this game and play with your community the way you want. So we are exactly in this situation, I think. There are always new sets, new mechanics, new planes, but mostly new products, always new things to consume. I'm trying to extract myself from this world, and I'm to regain control of my hobby. For me, not for others. I'm just trying to make the magic that suits me. Because this constant whirlwind of changes, that's not the end-all be-all of magic, right? Magic is more than that. I'm going to try with this project to bring back a happy magic. I'll try to do something that makes me happy, something I would enjoy making, then playing, looking at, and sharing with my friends and with the community. I realized that, especially after staying home so much, playing mainly on Magic Arena, I forgot a little bit about the tactility of Magic. Playing paper Magic, touching the cardboard, shuffling, sleeving, that's something physical, a physical relationship through your eyes, but also through your hands with your cards, that brings back feelings, images, the booster smell, the memories of playing in the blacktop at school. That's something real, and I would like to recreate a little bit of that. Because each card tells a story. Look at those. You can feel the love through the creases, the folds, the wear. Some have seen accidents, others some Sharpie marks. That one most likely a washing machine. That one is stamped. Maybe it was opened during a GP. There's a whole story right there. I need to create something. And if I need to create something with my cards, well, and since it's difficult to find 7 people to draft with, the next best thing is to create a Twoberts. The Twoberts is something created by Ryan Overturf. I discovered that on Twitter and in this great article he wrote for SCG. It's a small cube, 180 cards, and it is played by 2 players or maybe 4. While the thing is rich and deep like a cube, it's also small enough to change it, break it down, theory, craft for hours, change your mind, make several of them. You can spend your time thinking about it, designing it, spending time on it and sharing it with your friends and then, of course, playing it. Look how cute it is. It fits in my hands. So, because I'm creating a new Twoberts, I need to make a choice. What will be the theme? Well, I'm trying to reconnect with Magic here, to rediscover why I love this game so much, the visuals, the tactility. So I'm going to choose Old Frame. It would be a cube made entirely of cards that have the old Magic frame, the original one. Personally, I love it. That's what Magic cards look like to me. It has something Kabbalistic to it. When I play them, I feel like a wizard. And when I play Magic, I want to be a wizard, to ponder my orb, to play goblins. That's a side of Magic I find so cool. So, how am I going to choose which cards I put in there? Well, I want them to be classic cards that speak to me, cards that maybe are from my childhood, that I've heard a lot about, but also cards that speak to others. And to find the cards that feel classic for other people, I went to see different places. To get started, I explored the middle school format, the closed and non-rotating format with cards only from before the 8th edition. For that, I went to see some tournament results, some deck lists, but mostly I went to see Phil Nguyen's Twitter account. Phil is my first patron in my token making activities. And so this guy posts his middle school deck lists and they look beautiful. You can see that he took time to collect them. It's just wonderful to look at. I also wanted to bring something of the competition in this Twoberts, to find the cards that were played at the highest level in their respective standard formats, to find some vintage cards before vintage was even a thing. I want some cards that remind us of the Pro Tour scene of the 90s. Personally, I'm not too much of a competitor, but one of the ways for me to bond with the cards is when I see it being played by the pros, by the top level players. There's something fun to play with the strongest card. So the idea is that these cards that are special to me might be special to other people as well. That's why I went to see the Old World Championship, the Old Pro Tour on MTG Top 8 and see some results. Also, have you heard of the World Championship decks? For a while, in the late 90s and early 2000s, Wizards released entire decks, the entire list that were used at the last big tournament. Imagine that. Every year you could buy a gauntlet of competitive decks with the glorious gold border and different back. Obviously it's not tournament legal, but here I get to use them. Look how beautiful they are. There's the little signature, the player's name on the back. Tells a story and I think that's beautiful. I'm also getting tempted with pure aesthetics. I have stories about these cards. When I was a kid, I used to buy cards by the kilo at Love Cube, a pioneering LGS in Paris. And I would sort them and take apart all the cards illustrated by Rebecca Gay, one of my favorite Magic illustrator, or maybe one of my favorite artists, full stop. It's so eerie and beautiful. These cards I got just because my big brother used to play them in his 65 cards deck. This version of Sengir Vampire may not be the most classic, it's a reprint, but it's the one that he had and he beat me with. Chainers seemed so strong to younger me. How come you get to play with my cards? And the Basking Brute, well, I'm not sure why he played it. He just had one, maybe he just thought it was cool. I really have a historical connection with these cards. Now look at this gorgeous piece of art. The Archivist is a card illustrated by the master Donato Giancola, and is a painting of a painting. It represents a person going on their busy day standing in front of this marine landscape. What a great way for Donato to show the extent of his skill in a rather understated card. But mostly every time I see this card, I think of my internet friend Vortus Mike, who has the original of this painting hanging in his office. So there you have it, using all those memories and all those tools. Also thanks to Scryfall and Cube Cobra, I was able to create this cube, these Twoberts, that I expect will bring me much joy. Just so that I can show off these cards a little bit more, I'll show you my favorite way to draft it. For 2 players, my go-to method is grid drafting. First, you create a grid of 3 cards by 3, making a pack of 9 cards. Player 1 will take either a row or a column, 3 cards. So the second player will take a remaining row or column made of either 2 or 3 cards, and the rest is discarded. Now we open a new pack of 9, new grid, and this time player 2 starts picking. Player 1 picks second, new grid, on and on. You do that 18 times and end up with 45 to 54 cards to make your limited deck. I love this method because the two people get to see the cards, no hidden information, so you can discuss why did you put that in, is this combo supported, how's the mana base. It makes the experience less competitive and more of a shared moment where we can discuss the cards, and that's where all the happiness of this experience lies for me. In the end, that's how I was able to seize the control of my Magic conception, to regain control of my hobby, also to reclaim my cards, to interact with them my way and to share a moment with friends. All this thanks to my new cube, the Old Frame Twoberts. Oh wait, in the meantime, Ryan Overturf wrote a new article, this time on Modulo Cube. That's to say that if you have several Twoberts, several 180 cards cube, you can put them together and boom, you get a 360 cards cube. I already had an existing Twoberts, so let's start there. But then you've got to find a way to discriminate them, to separate the cards easily after you mashed both of them and for an 8-player draft. And it hit me, let's make a new frame Twoberts. That will contrast with my old frame Twoberts, 2 style, 2 themes, 2 personalities. One will have modern cards with newer, more balanced mechanics, and it will be creature oriented, while the other will get older cards as in weird and dated mechanics. That one will be more spell oriented. So now we have to see how we are going to split the spells, the removal. There you have it, a 360 cards cube.